Alrighty. What is it? 2 of 3.
I didn't actually realise this was being broadcasted.
Yeah, that's what I basically take the Zoom meeting, and then using OBS, I send it out to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Let's see.
Oh, that looks better.
Yeah. Hey.
My wife did this with her book club a couple of weeks ago. So.
Yep. Let's see. But yeah, so Chuck is one of the locals here at what would be our regular session on Thursday nights. But since the pub has been closed for the foreseeable
I didn't know you
future.
were doing this, Ed.
This is the third week I've started doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked on the YouTube channel and saw the last couple of weeks that you've done it. So anyway.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Let me grab a couple instruments.
Yeah. Only thing to know is just that when one person is playing, everybody else should mute themselves.
Of course.
Because lag is a problem. But you can sit there muted and play along. But yeah, I'll start. Wait, yeah. I don't need to have my mic being broadcast back at me. I am unmuted in all the places. Yay. Picks. They're on the desk somewhere.
I lost all my picks, so I had to cut up an old identification card, which is no longer valid, and I cut it up into plectrums. What are you going to play?
Oh, what am I going to play? What is Tobin's favorite?
Lovely.
I think like Out on the Ocean and something. I don't know. I'll remember when I get there.
Wonderful. I shall mute myself now. And...
That is not Tobin's favorite. That is an entirely different tune. That's a reel. But it starts with the same arpeggio.
Lovely.
Nice stuff.
Good job, Bed.
Just realized Eileen and I were having a mute unmute battle because I have to unmute you when you first come in, and then we both kept clicking. I'm like, no, I swear, I just no.
Yeah.
So how's all in New York?
Busy. Busy. I just recorded. I'm on the Mario session on Monday, so I just recorded
that's
stuff
right.
for that, which was fun. But we had jackhammers down our block doing repair work, and I realized when I was listening back to the stuff that I'd recorded like 6 tracks, and on 2 of them you just switch over to the jackhammers like in the middle. So I had to go like an hour before I had to send the emails off to them. I had to like go re-record it. I was sitting here like, it's 9 p.m. My upstairs neighbors cannot be happy about this right now. The jackhammers just stopped, and now the violin is like nonstop. But everything else has been okay. It's just been a weird week. How have things been out there?
Not too bad. I'm trying to think. Nothing super exciting. Kind of happy to got to do one of the things at work that I like, is most in my comfort zone, which is measuring existing buildings in order to draw floor plans. But I don't know, which is nice to actually get out of the house and do work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Who wants to go next?
Well, I'm still suffering quite a mad bout of stage fright, so I shall possibly follow in later.
Alrighty.
But hello, Eileen. I haven't said hello to you yet there, but
Hey.
No, yeah.
this is my first session of any kind. So
Oh, really? Where are you
Yeah.
from?
Cambridge in England.
Okay. Cool.
Hi, Eileen. I'm Chuck. I play in the session with Ed here in Indiana.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I watched a few of the Mario's sessions. Very entertaining. So are you? So you're playing in the upcoming one on Monday?
In the Monday night one, along with Finn McGill, who's also a fiddler, and we've got
Sure.
a guitar player backing both of us, so that'll be fun. Yeah, but I think they just put a bunch of them up on Facebook for the new ones, and they've got the lineup for the next couple weeks out, which is nice. So it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
I know Finn from Swananoa. In fact, I was there 2 summers ago for Celtic Week. And on the way back to Raleigh, where I have family, he got in touch with me and said that he was coming through West Lafayette and wanted to know if there were any places that he could play. And so I connected him with Nine Irish, and he was playing with a guitarist. Forget who that was, but anyway, they played in town. But I wasn't able to actually go over that night because the furnace in our house went out. So we were getting that repaired, and my wife came down with pneumonia, so I haven't been able to get back. So
Okay.
I have to give him my excuse. So,
Now that he's not in town, you can actually listen to him playing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's right. I remember going to that. Okay. Yeah, I am. Wasn't Pat Broaders? No, that was the guitar player. I'm trying to remember. I can picture
no,
him.
it was.
A bunch of different.
He teaches at Swananoa too.
Yeah.
I think he used to play with. Was it Rua or? Plays banjo and guitar
Yeah.
and vocalist. Dave Curley.
Dave Curley. That's it. That's it.
Oh yeah.
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 Okay. I guess Dave had family in Chicago, and so they had a house session down in Indianapolis, and so it was on their way up to Chicago. It was around Thanksgiving time, so
Yeah.
I guess it worked out fine.
yeah.
For them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Finn has like 3 different guitarists or backing people that he kind of does gigs with, depending on where in the country they are. So rather than like a standard set band, but yeah.
It's just newish.
So, Chuck, got anything for us?
I don't know if I'm quite ready.
Uh,
You always start at. I kind of follow along, but
yeah. That's,
maybe I'll try a set before the evening's over.
Eileen, then?
Sure. Let's see. I had the flute out today actually, but I don't think it'll pick up. I've been playing the boxwood, which I don't think is going to pick up without an actual mic well enough.
Let's see. Actually, the violin is
Am I-
clipping a little.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually move into the other room because I think our internet might be a little iffy again today. So maybe I'll do the set after this if you want to do one.
Oh, right.
And I'll just get myself resituated.
Oh, yeah. That is not where I left it.
It's a nice tune. What is the name of that one?
The second one is Old Hag, You've Killed Me.
Cool tune. Jig set, maybe?
All right.
Love how I called that a jig set and then exactly one of them was a jig. Sorry.
Lovely.
What were those last two?
Diva the Dancer and Leslie's March.
Leslie's. Okay, that's right. I'm like, both of those are so familiar.
Yeah. The Diva used to be a big flute tune. I don't remember who recorded it, but that used to like go around the festivals and stuff. So I assume someone recorded it on flute.
Yeah.
Was the last one not the King of Leash? No.
I think it has a bunch of different names. And Leslie's March is one of the ones I've heard it under, but it has like 4 or 5 other names.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Very, very good. How are you?
Not bad.
Hey, good seeing you again.
Oh,
Very nice to see you. Nice tunes, by the way. Thank you. You don't.
Oh, thank
People
you.
don't ever think Endeavor the Dancer. I love to hear it. It's a great old.
I love it. It was one of my father's favorite tunes. So
Really?
I've known it since I was a kid. It's like one of the first things I ever learned, I think. So
Did your father play?
my father played flute. Yeah. Yeah.
Born here in Ireland.
Born here, but his grandparents would have been from Northern Ireland. So my great grandparents.
Where in the wee six?
They would have been up in Newtownards, so little east of
North, yeah.
Belfast. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Antrim. Huh?
Mhm.
Actually, yeah, that's. But Endeavor the Dancer isn't really a northern tune.
No, but he got into the music because his grandfather had played fiddle, and he found out about it after he'd already passed away, and kind of got into the music. So
Nice.
uh,
Nice. Good tunes, though. Very good tunes.
so, John, got anything for us?
Yeah, right. I have a molar that's getting kind of sore. Is that any good to you?
Does the vibration from the chin rest help?
Great tunes.
Hey.
Free tunes.
So the third one is the Morning Star, right?
Yep.
Which has a couple of different connotations, but the best one I ever heard, Stormy Diamond tells me, is the best late night drinking joint in Belfast. I was never in it
Oh,
myself.
that's great.
So Eileen, a thing I did conveniently discover. So I remember before talking about the fact that I have to mute myself in two places because of the broadcasting. I found out both OBS and Zoom have a setting where their shortcut for muting can be like set so that you don't have to be focused on the program to do it. So I made them both the same shortcut.
Oh, smart.
And
Good.
I'm like, ooh, it actually works.
That's awesome. We're all learning new technological things here.
Yep.
Oh, but Ed's that kind of a whiz. He plays technology like it was a tin whistle or something.
Yeah, I've been having an interesting time actually because I've got a couple fiddle students, but they were all fiddle students I had before we went into stay-at-home orders, right? But one of them I started teaching after we went into lockdown, and she's picking up the fiddle for the first time. So trying to teach someone completely from
Yeah.
scratch over Skype is like
Yeah. How much time have
Very
you
new
spent
experience.
with your hand in front of
And
the
I was
camera
like,
going like, no, rest?
a lot. But you know what? So the only reason I agreed to do it was because A, she's very good with technology. She troubleshoots all of this stuff for her job. So like she can fix anything we're having with connection problems.
Yeah.
And B, she has played piano for many, many years. So she has a fundamental good understanding of music. So it's not like I'm having to teach someone what a scale is from scratch. Like she can hear if she's out of tune and self-correct. So like it is a lot of like she needs to spend a ton of time practicing to be able to hit things regularly, but like I don't have to tell her every time that B is not actually a B. Like she can hear when it's wrong. But it's been interesting like trying to do that and trying to be like, okay, so now you can see my hand on it. So now I have to close up my bowing because you need to see both of these very closely because you don't know what I'm doing otherwise.
Yep.
But it's going really well, but I also would absolutely not do it with someone who didn't already play another instrument. Like, that's the only thing that's making it work. So
At least you can hear for pitch. Yeah, it'd be intolerable.
I know. I know, If she couldn't hit a tempo and she couldn't hit like hear when she was on pitch, there would be no like doing it. But it's been interesting. But she actually played her first tune today that she went and looked up on her own, and figured out on her own from the sheet music, and it was not much more complicated than Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But I'm very proud that she went and did it. So that's been the exciting development.
You've turned a big corner when you're bringing someone to you. That's good for you.
I like the thing I found hilarious that Eileen Gannon had posted on Facebook today. Do you know Eileen, Helen's daughter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
I would argue the better part of Helen, but that's another story.
There's plenty of stories about Helen.
I think it's well worth knowing, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know it. Right?
But yeah, so Eileen, she teaches harp and then in piano and stuff, and then she also does teaches exercise stuff. And so she posted on Facebook that she's like, a new harp student signed in to my Zoom meeting early and was confused why there were a bunch of people doing burpees, and everybody else was really confused as to why there's a little girl sitting there with a harp.
Oh, that's great.
Just picture that student. Oh, Christ, this harp is much tougher than I thought.
I'll try a couple reels, Ed. How about the Mary Blacksmith Hunter's Purse?
Yeah.
Nice.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll give it a try, guys.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Good stuff.
Well, I suppose I'm the only one who hasn't played anything yet.
Yep.
So,
What do you mean you're bashing away there?
well, to anyone else. But my first time playing in front of anyone anywhere. So my tunes might not, well, just won't be anywhere near as polished as what's been heard tonight so far. But
Not a
I
big deal.
might play a couple of jigs if
Awesome.
just a Connachtman's Rambles.
Ah, yeah.
And I might go into the Calliope house. One or two. I might stop after one, but if the first one goes well, I might go to the second.
So 3 days. Perfect.
Cool. Good stuff.
Very nice.
Go, man.
Way to
I
go,
love
Jack.
that second tune.
Yeah.
Now you'll have to stop keeping your light under that bushel basket now. The truth is out.
Yeah, now your challenge is to get yourself to a session in person somewhere after we're not all shut down everywhere.
Yep.
Well done.
Just think
Especially the second tune. I've been dying for that tune forever. Hey, we need to write that one down. That's a great bit of a tune.
I did. It's written down.
No, add it to the set list though.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I have been playing a set of Calliope House and Lark in the Morning,
Yeah.
which is always fun at the session because there's always the debate about what's the A part on Calliope House, and also it's really hard to get anybody to like switch from Calliope House into anything because that tune
Right.
just is so beautifully cyclical.
Yeah.
So there's always this,
Never
like,
ending.
look at everybody
Yeah.
Never ending.
now. Make sure you make eye contact with every single person during the first B.
I've only just gotten used to switching between tune sets because up until now I've just been playing for barely a year and I've just been playing tunes individually.
Yeah.
But now I'm just getting into that rhythm of just
Yep. Nope. That is a. Yeah. If you didn't grow up doing it, it's a definitely a thing to like. Yeah. Like
I tend
figure
to
out how to get
speed
your
up.
brain to do. Yeah.
I tend to speed up
Yeah.
on
Yeah. Like yeah. Because like I didn't start playing any Irish music until I was like 26, and so I was playing in like punk, ska, and reggae bands before that, and
Well, that's
so I have always only played one song at a time.
Yeah, but 97 times through. I mean, there is,
Yeah. I mean, you always have, there's the keeping, like, verses and choruses and bridges and, after how many verses and choruses are we putting the bridge? Do we do the chorus twice at the end and all of that arrangement stuff? But yeah. No,
you should see him in dreadlocks, though.
Ah, yes. That has never happened. No.
I think it'd be a good look for you, Ed.
It might. I'm like, like I have these trouble with, one of the reasons I shave my head is because since I've got the little, receding hairline thing, like I actually spent like a couple of years just kind of casually like looking at men's hairstyles, and I'm like, I don't see any men's hairstyles pictured anywhere with guys who have the little receding V's here. Like the only thing I ever see anybody do is either comb the hair straight back or put it in a ponytail. Like Dennis Leary is like the example of,
Yeah.
Pretty soon, Ed, you won't have to worry about it.
Oh.
although this has been pretty stable, like since my 20s.
So that's it then.
If this goes on much longer, I'm going to have it coming down over my ears.
Yep.
But Ed, there's the impetus. We'll just get Chris on board, then Dave will have to follow. Dreadlocks it is, man.
There we go.
I'll do it. What the hell?
my hair just kind of grows out. It gets to a certain point where I wonder if they're going to put it on the Ordnance Survey map.
I know you're a pain, man.
Postal code and
Yeah. I also I've always had the problem where like my hair isn't exactly straight and it definitely isn't curly. It's not like even really wavy. It just curls in very specific ways. So as my hair gets like long in the front, it starts to just automatically go whoop, right there. And then if my hair gets anywhere near my shoulders, it just does a bob.
when mine grows, I mean, it gets so messy. I have to describe it as somewhere across between a car crash and an unmade bed.
Yeah. Let's see. Alrighty, so for Chuck, I'm gonna give a shot at making it through Humors of Ballylaughlin.
Oh,
Humor's about yeah, that's one of my favorites.
there you go.
Well done, Ed. Well done.
I think
Thanks, Jen.
That's a great tune. It's a
I'm glad
great
to
tune.
see it in the book. I was surprised when you put it in the book.
yeah. I know. I try to write things down as soon as I learn them. Yeah.
Oh, do you have a tune list for your session?
Well, not for the session so much, but like a project I had started, I don't know, some 7, 8, 9 years ago. I wanted to learn how to, like basically put together a tune book, as a PDF written in ABC, and but also with all of the like formatting stuff that you can do in ABC, like all of the header code stuff. So I just started like writing out my repertoire and like in the sets that I would normally play, and so like I've just been continuing to add to it, as I learn stuff, and in like 7, 8 years putting in like a couple pages a year, it's at 50 something pages now, and yeah.
Nice.
So if anyone goes to edyother.com/tunebook, you will find it there.
You got some good sets in there, and quite a few of your own tunes too, I think.
Yeah, I have put in some of the stuff I've written.
Cool.
I think also on that page is a link to a separate PDF of like just tunes that I've composed. Yeah.
So a little technology help from you all. How come my picture is like
Vertical?
narrow and yeah? What do I have to
Okay.
Eat
is
more
your-
broccoli, Chuck. Eat more
Yeah.
broccoli.
eat more broccoli? I had broccoli.
Yeah, I'm assuming, is your iPad
For the
vertical?
past couple of weeks, all I've been eating is fish and broccoli.
But then you need to add some cabbage.
Okay.
Is your iPad sitting like portrait or landscape?
Yeah.
Or
So I should switch my iPad. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is I've got a little button that says switch to active speaker. What does that mean?
I
I
I'll
hit
think
it
that
and
makes
try-
it instead of all of us being like on the page
Right.
together, like it's just whoever is talking
Okay.
is like full screen, and then everybody else is like little thumbnails.
Okay. I'm gonna turn my iPad and see what happens.
Yeah,
Ah,
there we go.
Wow, look at that.
Now you just have to
Dan,
find
you
the
only
link.
go over for 30 seconds.
Okay, now well, can't see my head.
oh,
Wait.
Hey,
Look at that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Lovely ceiling.
Thank you.
Now we
Yeah, I'm
can.
in the front room of my house. This is the music room where I play all the time.
Yeah.
So here, I give you a laugh. When I lived in Minneapolis many years ago, there was a cultist convention in Boston. It was the second one they had, right?
Uh-huh.
A couple of my buddies in Minneapolis, known as that I grew up in Boston anyway. This is, come on, we'll go out to the cultist convention, John. We'll have a great time. You could show us Boston. Yeah, sure. Two very derelicts, a fiddle player and a whistle player, flute player. Ed, I think you know Joe Dowling, don't you, Ed?
The name's familiar.
So anyway, we show up in Boston on Thursday for a convention that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
Got so drunk we couldn't find our hotel till Saturday morning, but that's another story. Anyway, Saturday during the day at the convention, there was a piper to remain nameless, but he lives in Chicago. And his girlfriend, who unfortunately now is dead. But anyway, they had come out for the same convention and were friends with the flute player I was with, one Billy Hayes from the top side. So a very drunken Saturday, we end up, come to find out we're all staying in the same hotel, which is not the convention hotel, it's a short subway ride away. Everyone is about beside themselves with drink at this stage. There may have been some other chemicals involved, I'm not quite sure. But in one of the 3 or 4 hotel rooms we controlled that weekend, as it turned out, Hayes' room, someone said, have you ever watched your television down? At this point, I add a caveat. Never take advice from a piper about technology.
Are you talking about Canada?
When you invert a tubed television of about 36-inch screen, picture to weight, for some reason they don't work afterwards, no matter what orientation you put them in. So we went down the hall to another room to try it again. No, we could not watch television upside down. Holiday Inn didn't bill us for 2 TVs, but we could not watch television upside down. Moral of that story, don't go drinking in Boston with pipers from Chicago if there's televisions around.
Like,
I
are you
think
talking
maybe
about
just don't go drinking with pipers might be good advice.
Yeah, no. I'm like, are you talking
You know,
about
funny you would say that because most of the stories that ended in pain for me did involve a piper in some way or another. It's true.
Yep.
Speaking of getting lost and getting drunk in places, there's a new place open down the road from me, and my dad and I went up there the other day, and before the lockdown, and to put it this way, we got back and there seemed to be some argument as to where it was that we lived.
Oh.
But hold on, this is your own address, like not a hotel or a hospital or something. When we were drunk enough that we got out of the taxi halfway down the road. The streets where the houses look the same. So
nice. My best one, John, was when I was in school. We had I belonged to like a local fraternity, like a eating establishment. I joined because they had a really good cook, and there was one big brewery in town. It was in upstate New York, Utica. It was around Utica.
Yeah.
And anyway, the marketing guy from the brewery comes up one afternoon and he says, how would you guys like to have free beer for an entire evening? And we couldn't really pass that up at all. So he goes, here's the deal. We'll provide you with, I don't know, like 20 cases of beer or something. And it's a new beer though. It's some kind of it was at the time when they were adding a lot of alcohol to the beer, like it was a super beer. So it was like, I don't know, the alcohol was like way, way up there.
High gravity.
And he told us that, right? So Friday rolls around and he said the only thing about the deal is that I'm going to have some of my reps here, and they'll be going around and like interviewing you to see what you think of the beer. And we thought, oh, that's great. So the next Friday rolls
What could go
around,
wrong?
lo and behold, the Utica Club truck comes in, and they start unloading these cases of beer, and they were in bottles. No labels on the bottles at all, just the brown bottles of beer. Start
Good start.
moving them into the house, and so he wanted us to help. So we had, one case would go into the back room for the party, and then the other case would mysteriously go down in the basement of the house, which just kind of disappear. And so we only ended up with like half of the cases. Anyway, we started drinking this beer, and like the whole campus came over. And within about like 10 or 15 minutes, this beer was so strong and so bad that like everybody started getting looped. And nobody could even answer like the simple questions. It was terrible. So this beer never made it past our eating establishment. It was like the worst stuff that we've ever. And in fact, we never even drank the stuff that we hoarded in the basement. We just poured it out the back. It got bad. So that's my story.
Oh, God.
So you denied the entire world experience that is calibration
That's right.
around beer.
Might have been
Well,
for the
the
best there.
The brewery was a real hit because upstate New York, there wasn't very much to do. And so pretty much every Friday afternoon, like half of the campus would drive in or take the bus into Utica to the brewery to go on the brewery tour. And so most of the time you would just, the brewery tour like started at the ground floor, and then they would take you up like 3 floors on an elevator. And as soon as you got in the elevator, most of the time the tour guy would go, well, who would like to give the tour today? Because everybody from the college who was on the tour knew the tour by heart. And most of the time, everybody would just vote to go up to the 3rd floor instead of going on the tour, come back down to the pub where you were supposed to get 2 tickets for like free beer. But for some reason, most of the time you'd end up with like 5 or 6 of these free tickets. So that was it. That was usually the start of the weekend.
Nice.
There's a pub quite near to me, and it specialises in Belgian beer.
Oh,
And at 18 years old, a while ago, I was quite ignorant as to the nature of Belgian beer, namely its strength. But so they had a menu. It was about 150 different types of mainly Belgian beer and some other like German beers and stuff. But I asked, what do you recommend? And he recommended this thing. I said, oh, a pint of that then, please. And I didn't know that it wasn't customary to have a pint of Belgian beer when it's 12.5%. So essentially, I had a pint of wine. Yeah. Absolutely no idea at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, no. Oh, God. I always liked, what was it, my brother's friend, who was the one who talked me into becoming a welder. He was telling me, he got interested in becoming, he was a dive welder with the Massachusetts Pilot Drivers Union. And he decided to go to welding school after seeing his brother get out of the Navy. And was like, I don't actually enjoy selling cars. That looks like a better job. And so, but anyway, so the point of that, his brother, who had been in the Navy, but was still, just basically a mostly Bud Light kind of guy. But I think one time for his birthday, my friend gave him a couple bottles of some probably Imperial Stout from somewhere. And that night, his brother calls him up and he's like, "What did you give me?" He's like, "It was just 2 bottles and I am hammered." He's like, yeah, that's what happens when you like only drink Bud Light. It's-
There.
I also enjoy the fact that
Eileen, are you in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn.
Okay. My daughter lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. What part do you know?
She's in Park Slope, about a couple blocks from the park.
Okay. Yeah, she's
Okay, what-
probably like a 15 or 20-minute walk from me then. I'm on the other side I'd be on the east side of Prospect Park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a cool area.
Yeah, she's got a tiny apartment. It's in a brownstone, and I think there are like 6 apartments in one brownstone. So she's got.
Yeah. That's how ours is. And actually, I've been in the same apartment with the same roommate for 12 years now because I'll show you actually. My kitchen is huge for being in Brooklyn.
nice.
Like,
Yeah.
given how small the kitchens usually are here, we walked into this place and we're like, okay, cool, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Which has been great. But apartment hunting here is a nightmare. I lived in a place before this for 1 year where the bathroom was connected to the kitchen directly. Like there wasn't a hallway. It was just basically in the kitchen with like a partition. And then every light switch was for a different room than the room it was actually in. So you had to go around the door. And I spent the whole year living there. I was like, well, this apartment is the cost of a studio apartment for a 2-bedroom, but it's that cost because I will die here in an electrical fire if I stay more than a year.
Yeah.
And the only way to take out your recycling was to climb out the kitchen window because there was no other access to get back there.
But in fairness, they rarely burn down. I will admit, having been involved in a couple of remodels like that, you know, they walk you into this big 16-room house and they say, okay, make it 5 apartments.
Yeah.
And then when the building inspector comes in for the OC and he says things like, where's the hallway light? It's right over there. No, that light turns on the bedroom and back. No, the one on the other side. The thing is, we never upset any of the existing wiring. We just added a few partitions here and there, smoothed it up a bit, a little extra, and off you go, you know? It wasn't going to burn down any faster than any other house with 1920s wiring. You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
The only one you want to watch out for is when your bedroom light turns on the light 2 bedrooms down the hall. Then you know you're
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, her place is really tiny. She's got a bicycle hang. She uses all the wall space. She has her bicycle hanging from the wall, and you know, I think I haven't been there. My wife's been there, but she can't. She doesn't have much floor space, and her office, of course, shut down, so she's working from home. So she's got like 2 or 3 monitors set up like next to her bed, and then she decided that she didn't have any instruments there, so she wanted a keyboard. So she ordered a keyboard, which just came last week. And so now she's got a keyboard like in front of where she goes into the bathroom. So she has to kind of pick up the keyboard to get around and go to the bathroom. So
That sounds very par for the course here. Yeah. You can
What's
see
that,
the
John?
French.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the French doors behind me. That's actually my bedroom, and I just have we installed window blinds on the inside of the French door so that I've got privacy in my room. Because otherwise, you could just see straight into my bedroom, and that would have been life. So.
when I was going to school, I lived with two fellows that and we lived on the Upper West Side on 111th Street, and my bedroom was exactly like that. It was like raised up about must have been 8 inches or so. And then there were French doors, and that was, I think, originally probably like maybe where the dining table was or something. But
yeah, I think
there were
all
3
of
of us
these.
there, so that was mine. I was the last one in, so that was my bedroom. The other guys had actual bedrooms down the hall. But they
Yeah, I think they were all originally meant to be dining rooms or like living rooms or something. And what we're using as a living room probably was meant to be the dining space. But
You sure it wasn't the porch? I don't know how many times I've thrown plywood on the outside and
I don't think there are any windows in it, John.
Me too.
God.
Hey, Chuck, for your daughter, there's commercial ones available, but you know, couple 4 J hooks, 4 pulleys, and a long rope. She could pull that bicycle up from the floor against the ceiling and clear up some wall space.
I told her that. I mean, she's been very ingenious, using the space. In fact, I used to work with a guy that was a submariner for like 20 years. And so, he had like lots of ideas. I mean, I don't know how much space they gave him, like, 2 feet by 4 feet or something. But,
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, she's been good. So she uses it all. But you're right. I mean, I think that would work.
Yeah,
Get it out of
that's
the way.
actually like my garage has a bunch of bikes hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of them. They'll sell them made up. They get these fancy brackets with the pulleys riding in it, so you can run a single rope, and he's up and down. But truthfully, it's not that hard to organize. A couple 4 snatch blocks tied to the ceiling with hooks on them, and just lay the bicycle down flat. You'd suck them right up to the ceiling.
Yeah. She'd have to have somebody put it in though, because she's really short though. I don't know how tall the ceilings are in that brownstone, but she's on like first floor, so it's I think it's it's a front parlor. So anyway, it's way up there.
Give that Submariner some hardware and a screw gun. He'll find it.
Right.
Hey, do you know playing marches?
Not enough.
So, I'm throwing this out as a notion to you, Ed, and I apologize because the 2 marches I'll think of right away are probably ones that aren't so common. Well, one is the centenary. Everyone knows that. But so back in the day, like the 70s, one of the things that a lot of Katie bands did, but it's a throwback to the 50s, they would play marches almost as a quick step. And one of the bands that I played with, actually, they were really, really good. These guys could play marches almost in swing time, which the crowd would go wild for. Like, you could fill the dance floor very quickly. See if I can remember these. But it was all the bands were playing them at least as quick step. So people would dance to them. Even like all the old rebel rousing marches and things like that. If you just think about the time a little bit, that's all they play in Texas is polkas and marches, really. That's the whole 2-step Zydeco stuff.
Pretty
Very
nice.
nice.
What was the last one there?
I'm not sure. I thought the last one was the Centenary, but was the first one the Centenary yet?
I actually don't know, but the first one was certainly more familiar.
Maybe the first one was the
Yeah.
Centenary. The second one, I honestly don't know. Couldn't tell you where it came from. I learned that in Boston years ago.
You were right on the drum beat, John. Could you hear my drum?
Yeah. But it's a little fast for a quick step at that pace, but it's easier to play it at that pace.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get Tony DeMarco going, I bet you know about 100 marches. Because you had to when he was starting out, you know?
Yeah.
And actually, I know he does because I destroyed a session. Where in the hell was that? In Mississippi or something when Tony was there. Got him going on marches. There's some really nice ones out there. Some really beautiful tunes. Not just like how the Rebel Rousing stuff. There's some really nice tunes, marches, you know?
Yeah.
I only
Yeah.
know one march myself.
Sorry?
I only know one march myself.
Ah.
What's that?
I think it's called Wee Michael's March or something.
How's
I
it
don't know.
going?
I'll play a little bit of it if I can remember how it goes. Second one of those lines.
Cool.
I think I heard a rendition of that with Mike, it's a flute player, and John Doyle. Anyway,
Mike.
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Would you like me to see if I can do a few reels?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'll do the Made Behind the Bar, a reel whose name I can't remember for the life of me, and then another reel whose name I can't remember either.
So it's the perfect set. The Made Behind the Bar, the one after, and the one after.
I'll call it the Amnesia. How about that? Sorry. False start. Sorry.
Nice.
I lost the other reel. I remember what the last reel's called now. It's called Our House at Home. But yeah, I'm sorry, I lost the thread.
Quite all right.
It happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just trying to see
I think
if
last one was something like oh. Something along those lines. I'm really, really sketchy on that one.
I've heard that before. It's a nice tune.
Yeah, Our House at Home. I was thinking it was different when I heard the first of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have the name wrong. But those seem to come up in so many different names.
Yeah, there's so many tunes that have like one or two main names, and then there's like 8 other things they sometimes get called, so you never really know.
Yeah.
Well, and then those bits that
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. I stepped out. My
under the quilt and the leg
my
of the
son
dog.
just called from Colorado.
Nice. All
You
right.
notice with the Rail Folk Index, tunes have like maybe 20 different names, and they're all the same, but with even like with slight variations on lyrics.
All right. So I was trying to remember a set of marches that I think the last time I played them, Donald called the set the most New England fucking thing he had ever heard.
Oh, bring it on.
Now, how does that one? There we go.
Well, you were doing fine until the last one.
Yeah, the first one was a bit rough. Like Road to Boston is the only one I actually know well.
On the road to Boston, I know that one too. That's a good one.
Yep, that was actually funny. I was at the at Milwaukee Irish Fest last year, and found a session in a corner somewhere, and
How'd you do?
yeah, one of the guys started playing Road to Boston, but he mentioned before, and like it had never occurred to me until he said it, that the B part is essentially oh crap, Angels We Have Heard on High, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Yeah.
Tune you played.
Hey, John, didn't you sing the Foggy Dew when we played at Nine Irish? Did you
I
sing
did,
Foggy
yeah.
Dew?
Oh yeah.
I can give it a try.
I know Jack had an idea there. Let Jack go now.
Okay.
I think the tune you played just before Yankee Doodle
Road to Boston. Yep.
The road to Boston, yeah.
sounded a bit like tune I heard.
Yeah.
One. I thought it sounded reminiscent of that.
Yeah. It
Good,
does.
yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank
remember,
on that
but-
name? John something?
Shoot.
Is that John Ryan's?
Yes, thank you.
And I'm like, unfortunately, the only thing that sticks in my head is Paul's sister-in-law there.
Oh yeah.
Brenda always calls it the Dum Dum Polka.
The only reason I know it is because if you remember Titanic, it's the one they were
yeah.
playing when they were all in the third class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did that with
Yeah.
Titanic.
They played the Blarney Pilgrim as well.
Yeah.
Which is,
We used to play Kitty McGee with Paul's sister that came in, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoo. Let's see. Eileen, got anything for us?
Sure. Question is, what kind of tunes do we want?
Yep.
Hornpipes.
Hornpipes. Yeah,
We can do that.
my favorite.
Do you want hornpipes people might actually know, or weird hornpipes? Because
I like the sound of a weird hornpipe.
Which weird ones do you know?
so there's a couple I play that I got from Harry Bradley, and then there's one I play called Drive the Golden Spike that I don't think anyone here would play. It's very strange.
I play one called the Dairy Hornpipe, End of Siri. Do you play that one?
Don't think so. I don't think so.
Dairy as in like dairy cow hornpipe. It's good. He said he wrote it out, and his family runs a dairy farm, and so he went out into the milking parlor where they have all the big stainless steel tanks, and he wrote the dairy hornpipe.
Did he write it for the cows?
Yeah, I guess so.
So I mean, for translation, he says dairy, not dairy.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, John.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll do a Paddy Fight hornpipe, and then Wright's a Man. Those are pretty decent hornpipe. And I won't mute myself like I just automatically did. That would be bad.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Patty would be proud.
Rights of Man, that's 17th century, I think.
That's
Yeah.
an old one, yeah.
You could have been landed in jail for playing that tune not so long ago, you know.
They one of the English Playford ones, I think.
I don't remember who wrote it. Do you know?
I think it's John Playford.
Mm.
One of the
Might be.
Dancing
Might be.
Master sets.
Yeah.
I do know one tune from Playford.
Yeah.
If I play if I play that and then a reel, then I might have to leave you because it's coming up for 2 a.m.
Four.
Yeah, you're pushing like what, 2 in the morning now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll play. It's called Newcastle. So I'll play that, and then perhaps the Bloody Pilgrim, and then I'll have to leave you. Right. Sorry, I'm gonna have to give up on that one. It's quite sketchy on it. Should probably just go into the Bloody Pilgrim instead.
Nice.
Neat.
Well, congratulations on sitting in on a session for the first time. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done, Jack, especially for 2 in the morning. I'm sure I couldn't play like that at 2 in the morning. I haven't seen 2 in the morning in many, many years.
2 in the morning it's here, or 4 in the morning where he is.
4? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And drinking beer yet.
Yes, I
I don't
know.
know.
I'm sorry about
If he
that. I'm sorry about
Play whiskey before breakfast.
Sorry about fobbing the first tune there. That wasn't. Yeah.
No worries, man. That's the way life is, you know.
Right.
Oh,
Participate.
Yep.
Well, this has been absolutely delightful. It's been lovely to meet you all,
Okay.
and I shall maybe I'll join you again next week.
Yep.
awesome.
Keep up.
Absolutely.
Wonderful evening.
Take care, Jack.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh my, bigger.
So did you find him or did he find you?
Let's see. Hard to say. He posted something in the Irish Traditional Music Facebook group about like if anybody had an interest in doing some sort of online session, and I was like, well, I've been doing one every Thursday. So, Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
From now until
Ed, would you-
Armageddon, lockdown is over, whichever comes first.
Ed, would you do the jig set with the Blarney Pilgrim that we played? We played Blarney Pilgrim, Garrett Berries, and
Banished Misfortune. Yeah.
Banished Misfortune. Banished Misfortune.
Yes. Banished Misfortune. No, don't mute myself. Lips are dry.
Well done, Ed. I like that one. Garrett Berries is one of my favorites. I love that tune.
Let's see. It's actually close to my needing to call it quits. John.
Is it bed?
Yep. Yeah. It should be. It's time for me to start winding down for bed, which usually takes a few hours.
I should think yes.
Good to see you again, John. Nice meeting you,
John.
Eileen.
Yeah, nice seeing you guys.
I'll watch the Marios. I've been enjoying that immensely.
Oh yeah.
I think the first one I watched was Kevin Crawford and Killian.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah,
taught
it's-
at Swanano, and I took a flute class from Kevin and a whistle class from Killian, and both great fellows. And
Oh
great
yeah. They're both great teachers too. I've taken some
They are.
flute classes from Kevin. He used to live walking distance from me. He's a little further away now,
Really?
unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of lucked out. I was like, if he lives this close to me and I'm not taking lessons, what the fuck am I doing? So I picked the flute up after like not having played
Okay.
flute in like 5 years at that point, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, they're both great. And I think today was Katie Linnae and Ivan Goff on pipes.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I was in here while that was going on.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you can watch them after the fact. So I'm gonna go watch that like
Okay.
tomorrow or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget that. I mean, they have a Thursday one too, besides the Monday one. They have two,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's 2 a week. It's normally a Thursday night session, actually. So they added the Monday
okay.
in so that they'd have 2 sections, and they're paying everyone for being on it, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
What is this,
No,
like Mona's or something? What is this, unlive at Mona's or something?
This is one of the sessions in New York. Mario's is doing a live show on YouTube twice a week. If you look up on Facebook, they're run by Tune Supply, or if you go to tune.supply, there's no .com after it. It's just tune.supply. There's links to the streaming and everything on there. So
Cool.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I found them through the session. I think somebody had when they early started. I just clicked on it and said, "Wow, very
Yeah.
entertaining." I mean, the way they play off of each other is with a little dinosaur guy. It's an
they're
enjoyable
fun.
evening. Kind of makes you forget about things when you watch them, which is good.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's a little like break from kind of everything else
Right.
going on. And Caitlin and Chris, who are kind of like DJing and playing tunes, are
Yeah, exactly.
they're
Yeah.
both musicians for Come From Away on Broadway. So that's normally
Okay, yeah.
their job, and
We
of
talked
course
about
that's
that.
shut down right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
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 And she's from Alaska, right? She talks
Yeah.
about Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah, her parents run one of those little like 5-seater charter planes up in rural Alaska.
Wow, okay.
So she's from like the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're great though. They've had great people on, so I'm excited about that.
Cool.
So yeah. All right. Anyway, I'll hopefully be back next week, and if not,
Okay.
I'll be back soon. But good playing with
Enjoy
you
it.
guys. Yeah.
Keep yourself well.
You too. Bye.
Thanks for hooking us up, Ed.
Oh yeah. Ed, thanks for doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Thanks. Bye.
This is
Take care,
We'll
everybody.
all I got for social life.
Okay.
Be good.